Welcome back to Gaming with TJ, aka the Fun Gaming Zone, and this is The Witcher 3 reading part 2. Hope you enjoy and like the stories. Jinns. The picture emitted a puff of glowing red smoke. The smoke pulsated, then gathered into an irregular sphere floating in front of the poet's face, or head. A Jinn is a powerful air spirit, a condensation of power of said element endowed with consciousness and character. The latter usually nasty. According to legend, jinns can grant even the most far-fetched wishes, though they do it so begrudgingly. Usually, powerful mages can capture and tame these beings. A mage who succeeds in doing so can then draw energy from such a spirit, using it to cast spells without having to summon the power from traditional sources. Only a handful have ever managed this feat. However, for jinns fight to avoid such a fate with stubborn determination. To imprison a jinn and bend it to one's will, one must first weaken it, and it is no easy task. Fighting jinns is extraordinarily difficult. They can fling off spells in an instant that most accomplished human mages could never master with years of preparation. What's more, by manipulating the element of air, they can summon gales, powerful storms, even hurricanes. Luckily, as magic beings, they are vulnerable to silver, yet steel will do them no harm. Earth Elementals. How to survive an encounter with an Earth Elemental? Simple. Run fast as you can. Nino Merc, Bounty Hunter. Nino Merc, Bounty Hunter. Earth Elementals are made of mud, clay, sand, and rock, dust clumped together with water and brought alive with magic. While seemingly slow and ponderous, these creatures are nevertheless dangerous and should be avoided at all costs. Fire Elemental. The first fire elemental was created by Rancent Alvaro. Sadly, flames engulfed his entire laboratory, burning it, along with every other building on his block, to ash. Travis Sandoval, Origins of Magic Arcana. Fire is the most destructive of the elements, thus the aggressive lethality of the creature that embodies its essence should come as no surprise. Fire elementals are forged in complicated magic rituals for one purpose: destruction, and they pursue this with murderous determination. Golems. If want us to break through this wall, we're gonna need 20 sappers, even mules, and 100 weights of sulfur, or one golem. Villamere Brass, foreman at Mount Carbon. Golems are mindless matter brought to life by a spell. They obey their creator's orders without questions. Their boundless strength, ability to withstand pain, endless patience, and the fact that they need not one jot of food or drink makes them the best servants or guards only one could ask for. Once provoked, they will not tire of battle until they have either crushed their opponent or themselves crumble into dust. Hounds of the Wild Hunt. Baying at the heels of the Wild Hunt are its hounds, fierce beasts which follow it like dust clouds, trailing after the comet hushed legends speak of. Oh shit! Sorry, let me reread that. Sorry, my friend, my fault. Baying at the heels of the wild hunt are its hounds, fierce beasts which follow it like dust clouds trailing after a comet. Hushed legends speak of them losing their way at times and descending from the night sky to earth, cold death following in their wake. Born, or so some experts believe, a magic ice crystal, the hounds of the wild hunt race alongside their spectral masters. Like ravenous, feral dogs, they are capable only of mindlessly attacking whatever crosses their path. Ice Elemental. I thought to myself, what's a hunk of ice doing in the middle of some lab? And then that hunk of ice got up and broke my legs. Yannick Lovey Burglar. An ice elemental is a mass of frozen water element animated by magic. Deprived of consciousness or independent will, this elemental is boundlessly obedient to the orders of the mage who created it. Those orders usually contain but one syllable: kill. The Apurian Phantom. Something's destroying our fields and hives. We think it's the Apurian Phantom, Holofernes Malsdorf. The Apurian Phantom, destroying the Malsdorf family's hives, turned out to be a lost hound of the wild hunt. When fighting such a beast, one must bear in mind three things. First of all, that the thick armor of ice covered it can only be pierced by strong blows. Secondly, that, like any of other frost-born creature, it is vulnerable to fire and igni, sign included. Third, the last, that is shalt show no mercy. Though the hound fought fiercely, it nevertheless fell to the Witcher's blade. By killing this dangerous monster, Geralt saved the humans, halflings, and the last but not least bees of the area from further torment. Therazane. Therazane. I do not believe in ghosts. It is that simple. But my men say the house shakes at night, walls crumble, why even the floors move about. Kurt Dissart, Count of Anchor. There's no such thing as a risk-free real estate investment. It might turn out your new home has a leaky roof, structural rot in the attic, a scratched floor in the living room, or elven ruins beneath its foundation, and within them an enormous earth elemental just waiting for a chance to break free of its chains. Fighting such a monster is no easy task. Its tough outer husk deflects all but the strongest blows. It can liquefy a man's bones with one crushing blow from its fists. Thus, one should never near it without first casting a Quinn sign. One should have a Eden sign at the ready as whereas the other signs, Igni, Ard, and Axi, are completely ineffective against it. In the end, the Witcher triumphed over the powerful Earth Elemental, and in doing so won the gratitude of and a ward from Count Dysart. Hybrids. Aeneas, or whatever we pronounce it. A merchant once told me I reminded him of an Aenea, Naturally, I immediately teleported him to one of their nests so he could see for himself how ill-fitting a comparison it was. Lydia nailed the sorceress, also known as Koref. Hard as it is to imagine, the Aeneas found in Skellige are even more repulsive and dangerous than Harpies. Their close relative, though well rotten carrion is their food or choice, they will not turn up their noses at the fresh meat, man fresh, flesh included. Griffins. I, half eagle, half tomcat, just like on the Lord's crest. Kept this was carrying me dead cow stead of a scepter. Griffin attack witness, name unknown. Griffin were once only found high in the mountains, where they would hunt marmots and wild goats. When humans encroached on their lands, however, griffins soon discovered a new source of much more plentiful and easier caught prey: cows, sheep, and shepherds. Though still wary of the main roads in towns, where folk were with the means to hire a witcher are like to dwell, these half eagle, half wildcat creatures have gone from rarities to oft encounters pests known throughout the northern realms. Especially hated are the subspecies known as royal griffins and arch griffins. Harpies. Most monsters don't actually keep any treasures in their lairs. Harpies, though, they like shiny things. Letho, Viper School Witcher. It is hard to say what is most repulsive about harpies and their cousins, the Succubus. Their hideous appearance, the overwhelming stench of rot and bird excrement that clings to them, or their blood-curdling screech. Suffice it to say that even rats who dwell happily among the rankiest fecal matter and rotten waste give their nests wide birth. Excuse me. Melicin. I I saw a shadow, great wings like a cloud passing or the sky. Then I heard him scream, Brit of Svorlog. In the mountains near the village of Svorlog, the Skellig in Skellig lies an enormous complex of caves. For many centuries, they were given wide berth on account of the bloodthirsty Archidia, or Ekhidna, sorry, excuse me, weird names, known as Melusin, who had made them into her lair. Melusin was a beast so powerful some islanders worshipped her as a semi-divine being. The Witcher, however, harbored no such delusions. He knew she was an extremely powerful monster, but a monster all the same. This meant she could be killed. To do so, he would need the highest quality of bolts, a solid silver blade, and a steady hand. Opnicus, Appenicus, or whatever. This wretchedness sparse after feathers, an arch griffin, Geralt of Rivia. Killers of various stripes Mercenaries, knights, errant, ambitious lawmen try at times to compete with witches as monster slayers. This usually ends in a massacre that not only does not solve the problem, but in fact only makes it worse. The beast walks away from the fight unharmed, enraged, and out for vengeance. Such was the case in the mountains outside Oxenford, where the powerful Griffin had made its nest. Once again, it fell to the Witcher to clean up after amateurs. He knew neither Igni nor bombs dealing fire damage would have any effect against the fire-loving creature. He would also have to look out for its acid, which can eat through even the thickest armor, leaving one vulnerable to its razor-sharp talons. Leaving one vulnerable to his razor-sharp talons, the armor, of course. After a long fight, the Witcher slew the Archgriffin. Some scholars in nearby Oxenford might accuse him of having contributed to the disappearance of an endangered species and disrupting the local ecosystem. Somehow, the Witcher didn't seem likely to lose much sleep over the matter. Of course. Salma. I'm not one to lie, nor do I kill without reason. Salma, Succubus. The Witcher's investigation uncovered that a succubus named Salma was responsible for the string of killings afflicting the Novigrad city guard. This came as a surprise, for succubi do not usually commit premeditated, cold-blooded murder. This is not to say they are not dangerous. They will at times kill on accident, when carried away on a particularly gushing stream of ecstasy. At the other times, they kill in self-defense, though they have the look of a slender maid's from the waist up. Their supple limbs hide incredible strength. They are also invulnerable to fire, Igni sign included. They present witchers with an intractable dilemma. Does this monster, who wishes men no ill, yet all the same often causes harm, deserve death or mercy? This is exactly the perplexing question faced by Geralt of Rivia. In the end, he believed Salma and decided to let her go free, though he could not shake off the feeling that he might live to regret that decision. Sirens. Out at sea, if you hear a beautiful woman singing, turn the ship around at once. You understand? Even if it means sailing straight back into a storm. Arik the Hindenjal. Advice given to his son before his first solo voyage. Like skilled hunters setting out wooden ducks to lure in drakes, Sirens and Lamias lure men near, using their own bodies as decoys. They can transform into resemble a beautiful human maidens. Though with tails covered in silver scales instead of legs, once a naive sailor gets within arm's reach, the beautiful creatures, their fair face suddenly turns into fang-filled, fish-like maws, and lovely tails promising unknown delights becomes a sharp, death-dealing talon. Succubi. Again? Good grief. Women, I'm spent. Lester of Smalian to the succubus a few days before taking a vow of celibacy. Unlike other monsters, succubi and manids feel no desire to kill, do not crave human blood, and usually do not in fact mean any harm at all. They are motivated by one thing and one thing only: an insoluble lust. They try in vain to slake this by engaging in sexual acts with any and other humanoid species they encounter. While while it must be admitted that their victims rarely put up much resistance, this does not mean succubi and manids do not present any danger. Their never-ending advances, though pleasurable at first, and have pushed more than one man to madness or even death. Alright guys, we're going to stop there and then we're going to continue later. Continue in a minute. See you in a second.